Welcome to Karma Canvas, the story of Punya and Pavana, why the wise do not grieve. In the sacred teachings of the Yoga Vasistha, the great sage Vasistha sits with the young Prince Rama on the banks of the celestial river, preparing to unveil one of the deepest mysteries of human existence. The question that weighs upon every heart is about to be answered. Why do we suffer when those we love depart from this world? What is the nature of this grief that seems so real, so overwhelming, yet the wise claim is nothing but illusion? Today, through the story of two brothers named Punya and Pavana, we shall discover the eternal truth that sets the soul free.
O Rama, listen well to this eternal teaching. The world appears as a river of constant change, where those in heaven descend to hell, and those in hell rise to heaven. The brave become cowards, and cowards become brave. There is nothing unchanging in this universe, yet the unenlightened grieve as if the changes they witness are real and final. But hear now the story of Punya and Pavana, two brothers who lived upon the great mountain Mahendra, where the river Vyoma Ganga flows eternally, where holy sages perform their sacred austerities. This tale shall illuminate the very nature of grief itself.
Upon the slopes of Mount Mahendra, there lived a great ascetic named Dirgatapa, whose very name meant one of ceaseless austerity. He had devoted his entire life to the highest realizations, and through his own relentless practice and perfect wisdom, he had become completely liberated from all attachment and craving. With him lived his devoted wife, and together they had two sons, Punya and Pavana. The elder son, Punya, had reached the highest peaks of enlightenment and dwelled in complete freedom. The younger son, Pavana, had overcome much ignorance, but had not yet attained the full realization of truth. He possessed only semi-wisdom, walking the path but not yet arrived at its destination. Then came the moment that transforms the world of every living being who experiences it. With the invisible and intangible passage of time, the great sage Dirgatapa grew old, and like a bird released from its cage, he abandoned his mortal form and soared into the state of absolute liberation and utter purity. His wife, using the advanced yogic methods she had learned from him over decades of devotion, followed him into that same transcendent state. In a single moment, both parents had departed from the visible world, leaving their two sons facing an inexorable reality. Their mother and father were gone. The mountain ashram, which had been filled with the presence of enlightened ones, suddenly felt emptied of its greatest light. The reaction of the two brothers to this event revealed the chasm between semi-wisdom and complete enlightenment. Pavana, the younger brother, was struck by a grief so overwhelming that he lost all composure and control. His tears flowed without ceasing, and he wailed aloud in inconsolable anguish, his entire being consumed by the loss of those he loved. But Punya, the elder brother, performed all the funeral ceremonies with perfect reverence and tradition, honoring both the body and the spirit of his parents with every ritual prescribed. Yet throughout all of this, his heart remained unmoved by sorrow, unshaken by loss, perfectly established in the truth of what was actually occurring. He then turned to his grieving brother with an expression of infinite compassion. "Brother, why do you bring this dreadful sorrow upon yourself? Tell me, what is the true cause of this torrential downpour of tears that falls from your eyes? It is nothing but the blindness of ignorance itself, the fundamental misunderstanding of what your parents truly were and what death truly means. Our father and our mother have not been lost or destroyed. They have simply departed from this limited form and returned to that supreme state of liberation, which is the natural dwelling place of all beings who have transcended the illusion of separation. This is their true home, their essential nature. Why do you grieve when they have returned to their own deepest truth, when they have gone home to themselves? You have imprisoned yourself within the false notions of father and mother, yet you grieve for those who are now eternally liberated from such limiting concepts. But I speak the truth that will free you. He was not truly your father, nor was she truly your mother, nor are you truly their son. This is the great secret that ignorance hides. You have had countless fathers and mothers across innumerable incarnations. They have had countless children throughout the ages. The number of times you have been born is beyond all counting, and in each of those lives, there were parents, siblings, beloved ones. If it is proper to grieve for our current parents, then why do you not weep ceaselessly and eternally for all those countless beings whom you have known and lost? Noble one, attend to this profound truth. What you see as the world is only an illusory appearance, a magnificent dream created by divine power, but a dream nonetheless. In ultimate truth, there are neither friends nor genuine enemies, neither true relatives nor strangers. All these distinctions are projections of the ignorant mind onto the blank screen of existence. Therefore, there is truly neither death nor separation. These are only concepts that seem to occur within the dream. All these wonderful signs of prosperity and relationship that you see around you, they are tricks, illusions that last for a few days and then vanish like morning mist before the sun. Use your keen intelligence now, brother, and inquire into the truth with all your being. I now make this clear to you. Abandon forever the false notions of I, of you, of he has died, of he has gone away. These are merely your own mental constructs, not the truth of what is. The false notions of father, mother, friend, and relative are swept away by wisdom, just as dust is swept away by the wind when it blows with force. These relationships you cling to are not based on any ultimate reality. They are merely words, concepts, labels that we have placed upon the seamless fabric of existence. If one is thought of as a friend, he becomes a friend in our perception. If the same being is thought of as an enemy, he becomes an enemy. But when all of this is seen with wisdom, as the one omnipresent being expressing itself in infinite ways, where then is any actual distinction between friend and foe? Now come with me, brother, and look deeply within your own being. Examine this body that you identify as yourself. What do you truly find? This body is inert, composed only of blood and flesh, of bones and organs. It is purely material, without consciousness of its own. So tell me, where is the I that you believe to be in this body? Where is the self that you imagine to be hurt by your parents' departure? If you inquire with genuine sincerity into this question, you will discover the profound truth that the wise have always known. There is nothing which is truly you, and nothing which is truly I. What is called by the name Punya or Pavana is merely a false notion, a temporary label applied to the formless, eternal consciousness that witnesses all forms. However, if you still insist on thinking I exist as this particular person, then consider this practical point. In your incarnations in the distant past, you have had very many relatives who have died. When you were a swan, you had swan relatives. Why do you not weep for them? When you were a tree, you had tree relatives. Where is your grief for them? When you were a lion with your lion family, a fish swimming with your fish relatives, why do you not mourn their passing? You were once a prince in a royal palace with a royal family, then you became a donkey with a donkey's herd, then you became a peepal tree, then a mighty banyan tree with other trees around you. You have been a brahmana, a fly, a mosquito, and an ant. You were a scorpion for half a year, you were a bee, all of these were you, and each had its own world of relationships. And I, your elder brother, have also passed through countless embodiments across the vast expanse of time. I can see all of my previous lives, and I can see yours as well, through my subtle intelligence which is now pure and clear-visioned, cleansed of all delusion. I was a bird soaring through open skies, a crane wading in waters, a frog in marshes, a tree rooted in earth, a camel in deserts, a king upon a throne, a tiger in the forest, and now I am your elder brother standing before you. I remember clearly the 10 years I spent as an eagle, the 5 months I spent as a crocodile, the 100 years I spent as a lion in the wilderness. I remember all of these embodiments, and far more besides, which I passed through in a state of ignorance and delusion. But in every single one of those lives, there were countless relatives, countless beings I was attached to. If I were to mourn each of them, I would never cease my weeping, brother. Considering this vast panorama of existence and the countless beings and relationships that have come and gone, tell me truly, what can be the proper cause for grief or joy in this world? All along this path of life, relatives are strewn like dry leaves scattered on a forest path, blown by the wind of karma and time, gathering and dispersing endlessly. Nothing persists, nothing remains. To the one who truly understands this, grief becomes impossible and absurd. Let us therefore abandon all these ignorant notions born of delusion and remain at peace, undisturbed by the play of appearances. The secret is this: abandon the notion of the world which arises in your mind as the I, the world that seems to exist only because you believe yourself to be a limited I within it. Be still, my brother, neither going up nor falling down, neither ascending nor descending. You have no unhappiness unless you imagine it, no birth unless you cling to a limited identity, no father unless you hold the concept, no mother unless you maintain the notion. You are the self, the eternal consciousness itself, and not else but that. Your true nature is not bound by relationships, not limited by a body, not vulnerable to loss. The sages who have awakened to this truth perceive what is called the middle path, the way between attachment and aversion. They see clearly what is arising in each present moment without distorting it with memory or anticipation. They remain at peace constantly, perfectly established in witness consciousness, aware of all that occurs without being touched or damaged by any of it. They shine like a lamp burning in darkness, and in their light all events and dramas unfold, yet the lamp itself remains unburned, unaffected, forever pure. As the profound words of his elder brother penetrated the deepest recesses of Pavana's being, a great transformation began to occur. The darkness of ignorance that had gripped his heart began to dissolve like morning mist before the rising sun. The weight of grief that had seemed so unbearable, so real, so permanent, suddenly revealed itself to be no more substantial than a dream shadow. In that moment of insight, Pavana's limited perspective shattered, and he glimpsed the infinite expanse of consciousness that is his true nature, a consciousness that had always been free from birth and death, from relationship and separation, from the fear of loss. The wise teaching of his brother had cut through the veils of illusion like a diamond-sharp sword of knowledge. Pavana recognized that what he had taken to be solid, real, and permanent was revealed to be dreamlike, fleeting, and ultimately empty of any true substance. He understood that his parents had never truly been separate from him. They were always expressions of the same consciousness that animated him, expressions of the one eternal being wearing different masks, playing different roles. Their departure was not a tragedy, but a return to their true nature, a liberation, an awakening. And this very realization showed him that he too possessed this same eternal, unchanging nature, this freedom, this liberation. Thus instructed by the boundless wisdom of his brother, Pavana was fully awakened from the long sleep of ignorance. Both brothers remained together as perfected beings, enlightened sages endowed with complete wisdom and direct realization of the truth. They roamed freely through the forests of Mount Mahendra, doing what pleased them, no longer bound by any fear or expectation, no longer shaped by the need to control or cling. They had become one with the eternal flow of existence, moving with perfect spontaneity and natural grace, teachers for all beings who came to them with seeking hearts.
Thus ends the sacred story of Punya and Pavana, which Vasistha, the great sage, has revealed to you, O Rama. Understand now that the teaching contained within this tale is not merely historical, it is eternal, a medicine for the disease of grief that afflicts every human heart. The sages know that there is nowhere where they are not, no being that is truly separate from themselves, nothing that belongs to another that does not ultimately belong to them. They overcome all sense of limitation through this knowledge. Therefore, be not like Pavana in his ignorance, clinging to the illusion of loss. Rather, awaken like Pavana awakened to the truth that you are the infinite consciousness itself, that death is a dream within the mind of the eternal, and that love itself is the recognition that all beings are your own self appearing in infinite forms.
The teaching: the wise do not grieve because they understand that all beings are eternally one consciousness, temporarily wearing different forms, and separation through death is an illusion born of ignorance. Subscribe to Karma Canvas for daily wisdom from ancient spiritual traditions.